The morning after the temple was completed, the air felt different, as if the land itself had taken a deep breath. The villagers woke early, drawn by a quiet pull they could not explain. Birds circled the hills in wide arcs, singing louder than usual, and the sky glowed with a soft gold light. Malachi stood outside the temple alone, his hand resting on the stone wall, still warm from the presence that had filled it the night before. He felt peace, but also a growing weight in his heart. He knew the miracle was not the end. It was the beginning. People gathered slowly, whispering and smiling, some still unable to believe what they had witnessed. Children ran through the courtyard laughing, elders prayed with tears on their faces, and families stood together, holding hands. The temple stood strong, but Malachi sensed something else rising, something unseen. Faith always attracted attention, and not all attention came with good intentions. By midday, strangers arrived from nearby towns. They had heard rumors of light from heaven, of a shepherd who led a village to rebuild a forgotten temple, of miracles happening in the hills. Some came curious, some came hungry for hope, others came angry. Among them were men of authority dressed in fine robes, their eyes sharp and suspicious. They stood at a distance, watching, whispering among themselves. One of them stepped forward and raised his voice. "Who gave you permission to build this temple?" he demanded. "Who told you God was here?" The joy in the courtyard fell into silence. People looked at Malachi, fear flickering in their eyes. Malachi felt his heart race, but he remembered the storm, the voice, the light. He stepped forward calmly. "God did," he said. "Not by my strength, but by his call." The men scoffed. "God does not speak to shepherds," one replied. "He speaks through order, through power, through those chosen by men." Murmurs spread through the crowd. Doubt tried to creep back in. Malachi closed his eyes for a moment and prayed silently, asking for guidance. When he opened them, he felt a fire in his chest, not anger, but truth. "God has always spoken to the humble," Malachi said. "He spoke to shepherds before, he still does." The men turned away, warning the villagers that trouble would come if they continued. When they left, fear returned like a shadow. That night, Malachi could not sleep. The voice that once came like thunder now came like a whisper. "Stand firm," it said. "The fire is coming." Days passed, and the temple became a place of gathering, prayer, and healing. The sick came and were strengthened. Broken families were restored. Forgiveness flowed where bitterness once lived. But with every miracle, opposition grew stronger. Supplies were blocked, workers were threatened. Lies spread in nearby towns that the temple was built on false signs. One evening, as the villagers prayed inside the temple, the ground shook again. But this time it was not like before. It was sharp, sudden, frightening. A fire burst from the hills, not wild flames, but a single line of light moving toward the temple like a river of fire. People screamed and tried to flee, but Malachi stood in the doorway and raised his hands. "Do not fear," he shouted. "This is not destruction." The fire reached the temple steps and stopped. It did not burn stone or flesh. Instead, it rose upward, forming a pillar of glowing flame that stretched into the sky. Heat filled the air, but it did not harm. It warmed. It purified. The people fell to their knees, trembling. From within the fire came a voice, stronger than before. "I am with you," it said. "This house is mine. This people are mine. No power formed against you will stand." The fire split, sending streams of light into the hearts of the people. They felt courage rise, fear fall, and faith burn brighter than ever. When the fire faded, silence followed. The men of authority who had threatened the village arrived just in time to witness the final glow. They stood frozen, unable to speak. They had come to destroy, but they left broken, their power shaken by what they could not control. From that day on, Malachi was no longer just a leader of one village. People traveled from far away to hear him speak, not because he was wise, but because God's presence followed obedience. Malachi always reminded them that he was only a servant. "The fire belongs to God," he said. "We are only the wood he chooses to burn." The temple became known as the House of Living Fire, a place where God met people not in fear, but in truth. And Malachi learned the greatest lesson of all. Storms awaken faith, miracles confirm it, but fire transforms it. And far beyond the hills, heaven watched again, waiting for the next heart ready to listen.